and welcome to Monday, September 15th County Council meeting. We'll call the meeting to order. Madam Clerk.
It's moved by Councillor Broad, seconded by Councillor Fraser, that the meeting of the Council of the United Counties of Stormont, Dundas and Glengarry be hereby called to order.
All those in favor? It's carried. Thank you. Adoption of the agenda.
It's moved by Councillor Bergeron, seconded by Councillor McDonald, that Council approve the agenda.
Anybody have anything to add? Take away? All those in favor? It's carried. Thank you. Any disclosures of pecuniary interest? Seeing none, move on. So adoptions of the minutes for August 25th, 2025. Madam Clerk.
Moved by Councillor McGillis, seconded by Councillor Broad, that the minutes of the meeting, including the in-camera minutes of the Council of the United Counties of Stormont, Dundas and Glengarry, held August 25th, 2025, be adopted as circulated.
Anybody have any errors, omissions? Seeing none, all those in favor? It's carried. Thank you. No delegations today. We're down to 6.3. Transportation, so SDG Counties Forest Land Acquisition. Madam Clerk.
It's moved by Councillor Fraser, seconded by Councillor McDonald, that the Council of the United Counties of Stormont, Dundas and Glengarry authorize the Director of Transportation Services to finalize the acquisition and transfer of a 50-acre parcel in the Township of North Stormont to be used as a county forest based on the following terms: payment of $102,000 to the owner, issuance of a charitable donation receipt for $68,000 based on the appraised value of the land, and all costs associated with the sale and transfer to be borne by SDG Counties.
Thank you. And Director Harper and Mr. Duncan are going to talk to us. Go ahead, guys.
Thanks, Warden, and good morning, members of council. So the first report today is just for us to gain permission to continue with the acquisition of some forested property. It's about 50 acres. I'll turn it over to Phil, who's our forestry coordinator. You have heard some of the conditions that the seller is requesting in terms of the charitable donation and the funds. But I'll turn it over to Phil to go over a bit about the property for you and then get your approval. Thank you.
Good morning. Just this is a quick summary. This property is owned by Alfred Marsh Farms and a previous donor to the counties in 2021. This is a split receipt donation, which will factor in about a 60-40 split. An appraisal has been completed on the property to determine the fair market value. This property is very ecologically significant as it encompasses part of the Newington Bog wetland complex, which is a provincially significant wetland and is located along County Road 15 just south of Avonmore.
Anybody have any questions, comments? Councillor Densham.
Thank you, Mr. Warden. And through you, no questions, but comments. Again, I think this is a good purchase. Really happy that you were able to do it in a combination of charitable receipt, which helps keeps the cost down, and I think it's a good property to be preserving. So thank you for the hard work there.
Any, Councillor Broad?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Phil, for all the work on this. Just question, is there any land of property that we can plant trees, more trees on this property, or is it pretty much full at this point?
Yeah, this one is completely forested, so there would be no requirements for any tree planting or anything like that.
Anybody further? We've had the questions. All those in favor? Oh, go ahead, Councillor. Are you wanting to speak?
Thank you, Mr. Warden. Through you. I just wanted to know, was there any other conditions on the property that were restrictive by the owner?
No other conditions. As soon as the property is sold to us, we'll have full ownership, and yeah, no conditions upon future use or anything like that.
Okay. We're good for the question. All those in favor? It's carried. Thank you. And we are on to setback permit, and Mr. Harper's going to speak again.
It's moved by Councillor Broad, seconded by Councillor McDonald, that the Council of the United Counties of Stormont, Dundas and Glengarry approve a setback of 23.6 meters from the center line of civic number 11112, County Road 3, Concession 2, Part Lot 14, Registered Plan 8R4530, Part 1, to facilitate the construction of a residential dwelling and authorize the Director of Transportation Services to issue a revised setback permit, SB 2025-16, to recognize the same.
Go ahead.
Thanks, Warden. So this is a report to authorize the department to return a setback permit with a reduced setback from the the typical 30.48. Just a little bit of local context. So there is a neighboring property to the west who already has a reduced setback. It is further than we are allowed to use as an established building line. But this report is being brought forward to you today because there are peculiar or extraordinary circumstances with the 100-year floodplain from the Conservation Authority and the additional 15-meter setback for the building itself. So that's where we get the 23 and change setback on that house. So the well is also setback, is going to be meeting our setback as per the bylaw.
Questions, comments? Seeing none, all those in favor? It's carried. Thank you. And we're on to bylaws. Official Plan Amendment number 27, Conservation Lands Overlay. Madam Clerk.
It's moved by Councillor Williams, seconded by Councillor Bergeron, that bylaw number 5506, being a bylaw to adopt official plan amendment number 27 to the official plan of the United Counties of Stormont, Dundas, and Glengarry, be read and passed in open council, signed and sealed.
Thank you. Director Young and Ms. Parashon.
Good morning, everyone. So through Morning Lang, so OPA number 27, for those is the Conservation Lands Overlay, which is going to be a new subsection that we are going to be introducing in our official plan to implement some changes. So last summer, if those of you can remember, official plan amendment number 23 was relating to the major open space land use designation. Parts of that appeal were, parts of the OPA was appealed by the province, specifically lands related to the agricultural resource land use designation. Since then, county staff met with the ministry staff, and what we did is we discussed ways in which we could achieve the intent of protecting our publicly owned lands with significant natural heritage features. And as a result, there was a scheduled hearing that was went to the OLT, which was in March of this year. Part of that OLT decision was a two-step process, and that's what OPA 27 is working towards. It's implementing OLT's decision. So what we're doing with OPA number 27 is the properties that are designated with major open space in our rural areas is that we're returning them to their former land use designation and applying this new overlay for conservation lands. And what you'll notice is in schedules A through F, we identify publicly owned lands in which the new overlay will be applied within each township. Thank you.
Questions, comments from anyone? All those in favor? It's carried. We are official plan amendment number 28. Madam Clerk.
It's moved by Councillor Broad, seconded by Councillor McDonald, that bylaw number 5507, being a bylaw to adopt official plan amendment number 28 to the official plan of the United Counties of Stormont, Dundas, and Glengarry, be read and passed in open council, signed and sealed.
Go ahead.
Okay, thank you. So just another brief summary on OPA official plan number 28. It's related to our county roads entrance policies. So in fall of last year, a motion was given by council directing staff to review the current policies to our official plan. It's the section that's related to development adjacent to county roads. As a result, a key information report was prepared by transportation staff, and which then presented various options on how these policies could be amended. Council then endorsed some changes to this section of the official plan, and the changes that are being considered today for adoption were part of that, or one of those options. So general intent and purpose of the policies are going to remain unchanged and will still remain in effect. However, in certain areas along a county road where a posted speed limit, so sorry, this is the more notable change that you'll notice in this amendment. So in certain areas along a county road where the posted speed limit is less than 80 kilometers per hour, and the average annual daily traffic counts are less than 4,000 vehicles per year. They're proposing up to 6 driveway entrances that require year-round access onto a county road. And whereas before it was only, the maximum was up to 3. So that's one of the more notable changes. However, this official plan amendment is intended to promote moderate increases in development. However, all proposed severances applications will continue to be subjected to the applicable policies of our official plan and comply with the county's entrance bylaw. Thank you.
Questions, comments? Councillor Bergeron.
Thank you, Warden. Okay, I have comments and a question. I think that 6 entrances per kilometer encourages ribbon development instead of subdivision development. For our county, North Dundas, it really doesn't affect us, but it will affect other counties. My question is on page 77 of my thing here. It says 6 entrances per kilometer on the same side of the road in bold. And then further down on page 89, it says 6 entrances per kilometer. So I would like that clarified, because if it's on the same side of the road, now you're talking 12 driveways within 1 kilometer. And my concern there is children, school buses, a lot of bus stops, slowing down traffic, either children crossing the street to catch the bus, or even if they have something where they say, okay, there's 6 driveways, but we're only picking up at this driveway, you have to all collect at the one driveway. Those concerns come in my head, so I'd just like you to address that.
Thank you. Through you, Warden Lang. Yes, no, I do apologize. So the summary that you see in the report were just the more notable changes. However, how the bylaw is written is that it is only up to 6 within that kilometer. So you have your subject site, and the way that I understand is that when you move, they call it a moving ruler, 1 kilometer to the east or left of that subject property, we look at the maximum amount of driveways that would be permitted currently, and if a new entrance were to be proposed, does it fall within the allowable 6? If there's already 6 that's been permitted, no new driveways would be permitted, the kilometer moving left and right. So it's the worst, so it has to be 6 on both sides. So it's not 6 on one side or 6 on this other side, it's 1 kilometer east and 1 kilometer west. If there's 6 in total, then 1 would not be permitted. So it's the worst case scenario on that same side of the road.
Go ahead.
Okay, so on page 77 where you have the line 6 on the same side of the road, should that be removed?
Through you, Warden
6.
Lang. Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, on page, what I have on page 77, it says on the same side of the road.
We can look into that further details and go through it with staff.
Section 43621G. On the same side of the road is no more frequent than 6 entrances per kilometer.
See, we can review that part of the policy. I think the intent was to recognize that on the other side of the road, there could be driveways, but those would not be accounted for in that total of 6. So 6 on the other side of the road of traffic. So that's why the same side of the road is specifically specified in the policies, to clarify that when it's measured, you're only looking at the one side in which the proposed lot is being applied for.
And that is the current policy as well. So it's only one, you only evaluate one side of the road at the time. That's what we do right now, except right now it's either 3 or 5, and based on the direction we had from council before was to look at 6. So that's about once every 150, 160 meters. So it wouldn't be the same as a local road where you might have entrances every so often. It still has to be pretty far away.
Yeah, I believe that's what council was looking for at the time, if I remember right, if anybody else wants to
So it's,
chirp in.
it's a large
Yeah.
distance, still 150 meters, plus or minus, between entrances.
Yeah, go ahead, Councillor Fraser.
I've become more and more confused on that. Is there potential for 12 to be within 1 kilometer?
Yes, on 12.
Thank you. That's what I need to know.
Six on the
There's-
south side, 6 on the north side.
Thank
yes.
you. Thank you, Mr.
Yeah,
Young.
versus
Thank you, Mr. Warden. Sorry for
6
jumping
to
like
10
that.
right now.
Councillor Williams?
Thank you, Mr. Warden. Now, this is only in 70-kilometer zones and less. Is that correct?
Oh.
No?
Sorry, through you, Mr. Warden, like it's 80 kilometers or less. That's the posted speed limit. So it would capture 70. But the way the bylaw is written, it's posted speed limit of 80 kilometers or less is when it would be considered. No guarantee, because we do need to be mindful of other official plan policies specifically related to our prime agricultural areas. They're pretty restrictive in terms of new lot creation for residential development. So those are other policies that do come into play as well.
And the 4,000 traffic, so that rules out County Road 2, 31, 43, most on the west side of municipality of the counties overall. So those busy provincial roads, they're not getting extra severances. It's former provincial roads. It's more the lower traffic roads that would be allowed to have maybe one or two more than they are right now.
If I may, Mr. Warden. Yeah, no, I understand the intent of what council was asking for, which is, let's allow, encourage development where it's appropriate and not limit it unnecessarily. But it's funny, when I was reading it, Councillor Bergeron, I had exactly the same sort of thought. It's like, okay, are we, creating the potential for some safety issues here, that if we get that kind of intensity of driveways on a road where people don't, if it's 80 kilometers an hour, they're going 99, right? And so I don't know. I have a few concerns myself.
And I defer to Director Harper if he has any other comments, but I remember when former Director DeHaan looked at it, he looked at the Transportation Association of Canada guidelines for in terms of the spacing and the safety part. So that's where, I don't know if there's anything else to add, but that's where kind of the numbers came when Ben was saying, okay, could we do a little bit more flexibility? He looked at those Canadian guidelines. So
and I realized that it was council was asking for this. I'm not trying to, but if it's proven to be, a safe approach, then I'm fine with it. It just was a little bit of a red flag.
Councillor Densham and then Councillor Dworski.
Thank you, Mr. Warden. Can you tell us what's the rule currently? I guess we're at least I am starting to say, are we swinging the pendulum a little too far than we want to go? But I'm not clear on what the current policy is for this specific road type.
It's 3 to 5 entrances per kilometer, depending on how busy the road is. So if it's less than, I think, 1,000.
Yeah, so sorry. The current policy, the way that it reads is that it's still the same thing. So, the general intent is anything that's posted 80 kilometers higher or has an average annual daily traffic count of 4,000 or greater, no driveways are permitted. And that's still going to remain the same. It's in certain areas where the posted speed limit would be less than the 80 kilometers per hour and less busy, so less than 4,000 average annual daily traffic vehicle counts per year is when we would consider permitting a new driveway if it was within the allowable amount. However, currently the official plan also has another policy where in areas where it's 60 kilometers or less and less than 1,000 average annual daily traffic counts, you could have up to 5, versus in other areas it would be up to 3. So 3 generally in certain areas, and then 5 in much more slower areas in our counties.
And would be 6 now.
Go ahead.
So it feels like we're comparing 3 to 6 versus the 5. It feels like the 5 is kind of a little more already complying with this, or it has much slower speeds and lower traffic counts. So we're really doubling is what we're talking about. And again, I too am concerned that the purpose of these roads, recognizing the fact that we have the 4,000 caveat here, I suspect the more development we put on these roads, the more vehicles we're going to have, and it kind of ends up being contradictory to its purpose in that respect. The only recourse would be to slow the traffic down if we start to build, and then are we cutting off potential corridors that are useful to us now and potentially in the future. So again, I think I'm okay, but I'd be really okay if we kind of split the difference and went halfway in between, whether from 3 to 6 you're going to have to go with 4 or 5. Anyhow, those are my comments. Thank you.
Councillor Dworski.
Thank you, through you, Warden Lang. It was a follow-up to what Councillor Williams had asked, because I thought I had misheard the answer, but I think it might have been reclarified. Just in terms of when this new policy would apply, just want to be clear that it's for when the posted speed limit is 70 kilometers or less.
Through you, Warden Lang, it's when the posted speed, it's when in areas where, yes, that, so the two that if they apply, no driveways are permitted, when the posted speed limit is less than 80 kilometers, correct? And when the average annual daily traffic count. So the two have to be in place for a driveway to be considered for a new residential lot development. So it's very specific. So, oh, sorry. So yes, it is. It is in areas where there's slower areas than the 80 kilometers.
Hey, just Warden Lang. It's just, I think sometimes we're getting, or I'll speak for myself. Sometimes I'm getting confused because you say less than 80, but then like the text that's in front of us fairly clearly in bold is less than 70. So, but regardless, I mean, I don't think we have roads that are listed at 75 or 76, but certainly I'm comfortable when it's at what's being proposed here, considering that we're in areas that are already at reduced speeds.
Councillor Landry.
Thank you. Through you, Mr. Warden. So I think I was understanding, and when Councillor Densham made some comments, so he's saying we're doubling. Are we not, so the factoring was 3 to 5. We're asking to go to 6, but we're still looking at 3 to 6. So where the volume and the factoring comes into play, we're still limiting, is it now 3 to 6? That we're limiting instead of 3 to 5. So are we just adding 1 in that kilometer is what that request is through this motion?
For the lower traffic roads, it would be 1 per kilometer. That threshold, the 60 kilometers, is now moving up to 70. So that's still your transition zones. As you're getting into a hamlet, a little bit more flexibility there. And then for the 80 kilometer roads, again, there's still a lot of criteria. You can see it's in the G policy. You have the 6 per kilometer, you have the 4,000 traffic, and if there's a local road, you can't use that. So it's almost like there's 2 different things we're looking at, that council's looking at. One is if you look at A, B, C, D, that's all kind of the existing lots, slower speed limits, that area. And then G in the policy is the 80 kilometer an hour road, less than 4,000 traffic, that's going from 3 up to 6. But the other situations where it's 70, that's where it's going from, or 60 kilometers, that's where it's going from 5 to 6. So both limits are moving up.
Okay, thank you.
The higher speed roads that are less traffic, and the generally lower speed roads would both go to 6.
Further comments? Councillor Bergeron.
Thank you, through you, Warden. Okay, so now, so the 3 is again the same thing, 3 on one side of the road, correct? So that means there's a possibility of 6 within that 1 kilometer. So my personal thought on that is I cannot approve 12 driveways within 1 kilometer. I don't think it's safe, and I think it's too many driveways that are possible.
Councillor Gaindel.
Thank you, Mr. Warden. Through you, I just want to highlight to County Council that it's not an automatic right. It's still discretionary power. So the Director of Transportation would have to be satisfied with the spacing, location, sight lines and everything like that. So it's not an automatic. I think this gives us flexibility, but it's putting trust in our staff to make the right decision. So I do feel comfortable with what's being proposed.
Think further? Just comment that we do have areas that are quite a bit higher than that now, more than the 12. And I don't know, Councillor McDonald brought one up when we had our first original discussion, the Committee of a Whole. So anyway, we're ready for the question. All those in favor? Opposed? It's carried. Thank you. And we're on to winter maintenance agreements with Mr. Baker. Madam CEO? No, Madam Clerk, sorry.
Yep. It's moved by Councillor Williams, seconded by Councillor Bergeron, that bylaw number 5508, being a bylaw to authorize 5-year winter maintenance agreements with the townships of North Dundas, North Glengarry, North Stormont, South Glengarry, South Stormont, and the municipality of South Dundas, be read and passed in open council, signed and sealed.
Mr. Baker, go ahead.
Well, Mr. Warden and Council, so here in front of you this morning looking for authorization to renew our winter maintenance agreements with the local townships. Excuse me. This is a process now that this will be the third iteration of these contracts, or third renewal of them. So it's a process that's been in place over the last 10 years, the last 2 5-year terms, looking for a new 5-year term to go. The arrangement came into place when the counties did a route rationalization study and looked at everything in 2014 and found that we could really provide a much more efficient level of service if we were able to have the townships assist with some of our lower volume roads or areas where they were already being traveled upon by the township through the small towns and villages that were getting done with all the side streets, et cetera. So that's how these agreements came to be. With the expiry of the last term, staff have gone through and analyzed all the costs for the past 5 years on our historical averages, brought them up to today's dollars, and just want to make sure that we're compensating the township fairly for the level of effort that we're expecting them to take on with this maintenance program. So that's the way it's structured. Everyone's compensated on what the equivalent of the county's cost is to maintain the road on a per kilometer basis, and then it's apportioned out to those townships depending on how many net kilometers we are doing. The structure of the agreements is essentially identical to the previous agreements, with the only changes being some minor technical language just to make sure we're staying current with some of the revisions and wordings that have changed with the MMS as it has evolved. So we want to make sure that just our language is referencing their language. Only structural change this time around is with North Glengarry Township. They have asked us if we could look at swapping a couple of roads back. It was a very even kilometers. We're about 1.5 kilometers net difference to the township for the county to take over Power Dam Road and McCormick Road on the north end of Alexandria between County Road 34 and 23. And in lieu of the township doing that road, they will be taking over County Road 21 in that same stretch for the county. Looking at traffic volumes, it made sense for both of us. Logistically, for locations to each other's shops, it looks like it's going to service everybody quite well. But aside from that, everything is much the same. The program's been working very well for us for the past 10 years, and we're looking to extend it on for another 5. If there's any particular questions, I'd be happy to answer.
Thank you. Questions? Councillor Landry and then Councillor Williams.
Thank you, Mr. Warden. So, well, Trevor, you're aware. So I had a discussion with Trevor, with my Public Works superintendent, which was late last week. He was away on Friday, and I was semi-away on Friday as well. But so there was some concerns. I'm prepared to go through and work with this agreement for the duration. I know there was discussions had way previously. So I was just aware that it was late last week that there was discussions, and it was kind of late where I would have liked to have had Public Works at the counties talk to in a Zoom with myself and maybe Deputy Mayor, or in our case, Deputy Mayor Densham, to sit on and just overview. So with regards to the boundary and County Road 6, it's a different beast altogether. It's a heavy Class 3. I believe you guys probably maintain it closer to a Class 2 when it comes to services. There's concerns where we are one shift crew, so very, very small. Again, the discussions were had in regards to patrolling. So we do not need to patrol what we have. We don't have Class 3 roads where this here deems it a bit differently. So when you jump down a class, it increases from 12 or 16 hours to 12 hours, which, so we also run it up to Newington. So it goes from County Road 13 coming out of Chrysler and all the way to Newington. There's concerns I'm willing to pass, but it's something that I was addressed about this, I think a little late, but I would like to, again, over until the next term comes up, but reviewing county, the boundary, which I think is just escalating. Comments that were made is that County Road 9, for example, that runs from Berwick to 15 is a class 4, which would be easier for us to maintain and say swap and you guys take 6 and boundary, which is escalated as far as the volume. So there's stuff to be discussed. I don't want to impede on this agreement being signed, but maybe having further discussions in a more relaxed atmosphere than having to push this through. So again, just comments and maybe letting Public Works know that we could sit down and have some further discussions in the near future. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure. As I mentioned, like these are the same arrangements that have been working well for 10 years. If North Stormont would like to make some changes, we can absolutely do so. We have midterm made some changes before with North Dundas when the request came in for the county to provide a little bit level higher service on County Road 31. The only way that was possible was for North Dundas to take over a stretch of County Road 3, and we made that amendment in the middle of this term. As far as the classes and the compensation that we're looking at there, yes, it is a Class 3 road. Most of the ones being downloaded or that are being maintained by the townships are Class 4s and 5s. There are a select section of Class 3 roads that are being maintained. But it's clear in the agreement, the county is only looking for maintenance to the minimum maintenance standard level. We're not looking for the townships to be providing the level of service that the county provides. Although the compensation is for that level, we're looking strictly for minimum maintenance standards. And with that, we feel it was easy enough for it to be achieved. As far as the patrolling necessary for those sections is only for winter conditions. The county is still maintaining ownership of those roads and patrolling it for minimum maintenance deficiencies, just not winter conditions, because we won't be the one responding to it. The contractor, being the township, is responsible to patrol for winter conditions and assess and deploy as they see reasonable to meet the minimum maintenance standards.
Follow up?
Just a follow-up. So the comments made where we are only mandated to meet the minimum standard and you guys go to a higher level. Comments from my superintendent was, if you're driving down a road that's maintained at your level and you're doing 100 kilometers an hour, then you fall into where I take over and it's a straight stretch. And we are downgraded where all of a sudden you're driving, and that's where I think the issue is. We're trying to maintain, so there is no there's the township roads being maintained, here's the county road. The person that's driving at a certain speed is expecting that that's what the road that they're on. So it's County Road 6 that carries forward from 13. So that's where we need to basically maintain what you guys are doing to your standard, and that's where our road superintendent has been doing, and that was remarks that were made on that point. So anyways, we can, like I say again, if it's something that we can have some discussions, I'm just looking at being fair. We're all at the table with all different roads. This here is just one in particular. I believe we have 2 of them. The other one's not. It's just the boundary and County Road 6 up to Newington that is in the discussions right now. Thank you.
And Councillor Williams.
Thank you, Mr. Warden. To your knowledge, County Road 30, going from 43 all the way to, 24? I think? Yeah. I think the township has taken over that one for some years now.
Since the inception, for the last 10 years, yes.
Oh, for the last 10 years, okay. Initially, we were having some trouble because, as Councillor Landry pointed out, the public have expectations. They know it's a county road, so they expect it to perform like a county road, and you already explained that. But I just want to know that, have you had any feedback, negative feedback about that road? I haven't recently. We used to hear a lot about it, but I think the township's kind of figured it out. But
recently, there hasn't been any. There was, when the program first started, yes, of course, it was kind of like a bit of a shock factor for the traveling public. 30, for example, was one that was decided because North Glengarry's shop is on there, and that the county is still maintaining County Road 20 and 34 to our standards. So they've got, whether you're coming from the east or west, you've got an alternate route to get up there to the 417. So it was intended to have that County Road 30 serve as just more of a local traffic road and be maintained to that level.
Right, so you haven't heard anything then?
I would say after year one and once people's driving patterns and everyone was used to it, there hasn't been any more calls.
Thanks so much.
Anything further? Call a question. All those in favor? It's carried. Thank you. We are on to 8.4, updated council remuneration and conference bylaw. Madam Clerk.
It's moved by Councillor McDonald, seconded by Councillor Fraser, that bylaw number 5509, being a bylaw to establish the remuneration and conference reimbursement for members of council and SDG counties, appointed committee members, be read and passed in open council, signed and sealed.
And who? Oh, Kimberly, you're speaking to it. Go ahead.
Thank you. Through you, Mr. Warden. So as council's aware, we've discussed the changes to the conference and remuneration bylaw at the past two county council meetings. Thank you for providing your valuable feedback. It was wonderful. We've made the changes and a final bylaw is before you here today. It would take effect January 1st. Thank you.
Comments, questions? All those in favor? It's carried. Thank you. Consent agenda. Was there anybody that needed to make any comments on the consent agenda? No, Madam Clerk, go ahead.
Moved by Councillor Broad, seconded by Councillor McGillis, that all items listed under the consent agenda section of the agenda be received for information purposes.
All those in favor? It's carried. Thank you. Boards and committees. Warden's report was a little bit slow. Well, maybe I guess some of it's because our last month's meeting was a week late. So, but I just went through my calendar and there wasn't that many things that I attended since the last one. But I was happy to go to the new fire station opening in Cornwall. Quite the building. Quite the building. Everybody's got their own bedroom in there now. Pet peeve of mine about people sleeping on the job. But anyway. Gilchrist Homes, the CO Adams and Director Harper and I met with Gilchrist Homes, a productive meeting. Very happy to, first for me, I think everybody else kind of knew what was going on there, but and they just wanted to chat a little bit about getting buildings, maybe building a little bigger buildings and half loads and this sort of thing, and how they could get to a full road without too much issue and without having to take 6 weeks in the spring off with no shipping. Habitat for Humanity and Care for Hospice had a beautification event, and I was happy to go to that and put in a couple hours of shoveling gravel, which I got a blister. It shows you I don't shovel much gravel anymore, but anyway, no, it was very good and it was quite rewarding, and I was happy to be invited and enjoyed it very much. Lancaster Manor, we had our groundbreaking the other day, so it's been up and they've been constructing for a little while now, but officially going, and Minister Casanova Bashta was there. It was good to see. And that's it for me. Go on to, I don't think there was a joint liaison committee meeting. Library board, anything? Councillor Broad, go ahead.
Yeah, thanks, Warden. Yeah, we had a great meeting Thursday night in Morrisburg. We kicked the night off a little earlier. We had the Upper Canada School Board trustees and some members join us with the parents group, as we've entered an agreement with the library, SDG libraries, and the parents of the school board have funded a significant amount of money for us to increase our collection of library materials, specifically at certain targets of type of social and personal well-being, which is great for parents and or children of our libraries to be able to access these new library books. And we also have a process in place where these books can be shared with other parts of the school board, not just within the members of SDG County libraries. So we had an introduction and took a picture and launched that campaign as all the books have been received. Kudos to the staff for expediting the purchase of these books and getting them into our system. They're significantly marked on the spine, as also inside the cover, that these books were purchased through that parent group. So we are excited to have that ceremony on Thursday night. Then we kicked into our regular board meeting. We did have a delegation from the Ontario Public Libraries Federation. And as you know, the funding for libraries in Ontario has been frozen since 1992. And I think everybody's been advocating for a raise in funding since that time, which we haven't seen any movement on. But what they are advocating advocating for today through an opportunity is if the province could pay for all the e-subscriptions of all these new e-learners and e-products provincially, which would reduce the cost to all the independent libraries. So that's a way for us to save money on another end. So that's their current policy that they're advocating for. Otherwise, we did discuss in detail circulation policy and a policy for membership drives to ensure that we can continue to issue library cards to all our residents of SDG, even if they don't have identification. So some folks may be without identification or be in a situation, so we're going to accept like a letter from a social service or another department saying that they are currently within the counties to make sure that folks have access to the libraries. We also discussed our summer reading program as well as our upcoming event. As you've heard me talk about since the spring, SDG Reads is October 6th, so we're excited to have Nikita Prost with us in October in Avonmore. Upcoming conference coming, but more importantly, through the work of the board, we continue to drive and ask for specific and quite a bit of data when it comes to the library board. And a few things I wanted to point out. Program attendance by quarter over the last 4 years significantly continues to rise throughout the quarters as we see more and more folks use the library system. One of the things that we did fall behind on, according to our marketing plan, is our memberships, where we were trying to achieve over 8,000 memberships to the library board. So we've, with the library service, Rebecca Luck and her team, we're going to kick off a membership drive here in October, and we're going to have a challenge, and I'd like to challenge all the mayors at the table, the deputy mayors here, not only within the board, to see how many new members we could have signed up in the month of October. So there's a challenge out there to all of you. So the gloves are off, and let's see what we can do. And maybe some mayors that haven't been successful in some of our other challenges maybe want to step up. Since they weren't successful in the other events we've had. So there's an opportunity for us to raise the memberships of our libraries, which continues to be an important piece of our community. So thank you for that, Warden.
Wow, he's successful in one game of cornhole. And anyway, go ahead, Councillor Fraser.
Yes, Mr. Warden, and Councillor Broad did elicit a few chuckles here. He was quite a bit more competitive with Councillor McDonald, who's not with us today, and I think that both of them were practicing how to solicit memberships. So the competition is on. It's quite a sight to see the two of them at it. But nevertheless, to Councillor Broad's comments, it is a great initiative, and it is a challenge for us as representatives of the community to solicit and advocate for the library. So I do appreciate the competitive nature.
Thank you. Police services, next Tuesday, I believe, 23rd, we have a meeting. It's coming up. Go ahead.
Thank you. In the meantime, our commander, or detachment commander, sent us an outline in terms of the priorities of what we're going to be discussing in our next meeting. One of which is crime prevention, law enforcement, emergency response, and assist to victims of crime. These priorities reflect the core principles of the Police Services Act and the expectations of our community places on our policing. As chair, I said I fully support the new priorities that they're proposing for the next meeting, and the board looks forward to continue working with the police board in that aspect. So it should be an interesting meeting coming up. And then we'll be discussing that, and we'll bring it back to the rest of the county members, and then we'll discuss it then. Thank you.
Thank you. Eastern Ontario Health Unit, you have a meeting on Thursday, I think, by the looks of my calendar. Glenstar Dunn Lodge, anything?
No meeting, but the city and the director are keeping us updated, the council team and the CAO, of any events happening at the Glenstar Dunn Lodge.
Yeah, thank you. St. Lawrence River Institute, nothing raised in South Nation Source Protection?
We haven't had a meeting yet, but there will be one sometime in October. The date isn't set yet.
Okay, thank you. Municipal Advisory, long land claim, no. Regional Incentives Program, nothing. Rural Education Committee, Nothing. Social Development Council? No. Forest Working Group, there was nothing. Border Mayors Alliance? Nothing. Okay, thank you very much. Key information, affordable rental housing tax subsidies. Ms. Russell.
All right, good morning, Council. So the province has created 2 new subclasses, one under the new multi-residential property class and the other under the multi-residential property class. So these subclasses are specific for affordable rental housing, and there's detailed criteria in the Ontario regulation that reviews and goes over the qualifications for these properties. Excuse me. Which MPAC will then determine only when a bylaw has been passed. Council can choose to adopt these subclasses and provide a reduction of anywhere between 0 and 35%, which would also apply to the local municipalities as the upper tier sets tax ratios for all of SDG. If there's interest in Council adopting these classes, a bylaw must be passed by September 30th, excuse me, to be applied to the 2026 tax year. Through the budget process, Council can then decide to adjust the tax ratio anywhere up to 35%. Any reduction to the tax ratio would impact all other property classes. If Council wishes, they could decide not to adopt these subclasses, and further evaluation and analysis can be done in a future year if Council desires. I have canvassed the Eastern Ontario Treasurers Group, and out of all of those counties, there's one that is considering implementing this bylaw, but there are none others in our Eastern Ontario Treasurers Group that is looking at it. So I'm just looking for Council direction on how to proceed. There's a draft bylaw attached to the report for your review, and if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer.
Thank you very much. I got Councillor Jaworski and then Councillor Denson.
Thank you. Through you, Warden Lang. I guess I should count myself lucky that I know this probably came to all the townships, but I'd raised this at our lower tier council table, and I suppose I'm lucky that I happen to be here the day it comes here. So I'd like to speak in favor of this. So, I mean, it's not new news to folks that we have a housing affordability crisis, and this is, one time where the province has provided us a tool that potentially, that we could use. And my understanding is at this time, there's probably a small number of properties that qualify within SDG. But again, so much about housing is the signals that we send, to developers. And, I think this is, again, another signal that we can send that we are, committed to addressing the housing crisis within our area. And again, if not that many properties qualify at this time, it's really a low risk, option. And, obviously there's always that concern that, this could shift. Obviously, when you make a rate reduction to one property class, it does shift on to the other classes. However, again, it's a very small amount on a very large budget. And, the way the bylaw is written, as I understand it, it sets the discretion up to from 0 to 35. So again, the council would have full control on determining how that could be applied. But again, I think it's important to pass it so that you have that tool in your toolkit. And again, I think it sets the right tone and the right signal. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Denson.
Thank you, Mr. Warden, and through you. Yeah, I had a chance to talk with CAO Adams before the meeting, and we maybe want to do a bit more analysis, but I tend to agree with you. I sit on a not-for-profit housing board, and it does feel to me like it is an opportunity for us to support low-income housing, in the sense that for low-income housing, the rental rates are low, and therefore the revenue that's produced is low, but the costs generally are not lower, and sometimes they're higher, especially when some of the not-for-profit housings are delivering additional services like social services that a private entity may not. The rental rates for us in our area at Morningside in Avonmore are sometimes half that of some of the private rental units that are in the area. So having this additional revenue in hand for a not-for-profit housing organization helps them to ensure quality of service that is delivered. Quite often when you're running short and tight on money, you let things slide in the housing corporation and in the housing facility, which, you know, kind of gives a little bit of a, not the same level of life experience that somebody in a private environment might be. To Councillor Jaworski's point, I think there's not a lot that would necessarily qualify for this. My understanding is that right now, if 100% of the taxes are being paid, quite often Cornwall Housing offsets that. They pay the money over to the housing provider to help support the taxes, but not necessarily 100%. And I don't think that money, we would lose that provincial funding if we changed it. So from my perspective, I just think it's an opportunity for us to support the low-income housing area indirectly through revenue, and hopefully we'll have a help to ensure that the quality of service that those low-income housing facilities provide can be maintained in a positive way.
Thank you. Councillor Williams.
Thank you, Mr. Warden. I completely agree with Councillor Jaworski and Councillor Densham. The affordability crisis is not going to end anytime soon, and if we don't increase our low-income housing stock, the problem is going to persist. So these tools are in our toolbox. We should use them. I think Councillor McDonald, were you going to mention something?
Mike's not on.
I think I'm generally in favor of this, but if you look at the comments and observations, currently unclear how many properties will qualify for the affordable rental housing subclass. So I'd like more information on that. I'd like to see what it would look like at 10%, 20%, and 35%. But also we can't forget that we are going to be, to do this, we're also going to be increasing another class, which is our residential class, which there are a lot of homeowners struggling to keep up in those classes as well. So we always got to be careful if we tip it. And I don't think it's a big number at this point, but it's something that we need to think about in the future as more of these properties come forward. It's hard to go back after you've passed something like this. So I just want us to be clear on what this would look like in a budget.
Yeah, go ahead. Just a comment from
If I may just, for Councillor McDonald's comments, unfortunately we won't know what properties are impacted until the bylaw is passed. Once the bylaw is passed, it goes to MPAC, and then they do their thing and they provide us with the information. We won't be able to know what properties are impacted unless the bylaw has been passed for the 2026 year. For next year, it could be something different. I'm not sure if MPAC will have more time because it's been quite a short window. But for the interim, I can't analyze any impacts to the tax ratios or the taxes until MPAC provides us with the properties that qualify.
But at that time, can we not set the rate anywhere from 0 to 35? So if we think it's too, we can adjust accordingly then. Can we do that every year at budget?
Yes, and it can be rescinded at any time, or we can maintain the class.
All right, gives us some flex. I had Councillor Fraser.
Thank you, Mr. Warden. Through you, my head almost came out of my skull here, thinking that we can't do anything because MPAC won't do anything, essentially held hostage by MPAC, because I do understand they are extremely busy looking after the assessments for everyone. And they're getting paid well to do the job that they can't do unless we sign a piece of paper. It's frustrating to no end. I've listened to the comments, and I do understand the challenges we face, but this is, to me, is another challenge that the province is downloading on us, downloading onto our taxpayers to look after things that we feel should be looked after by the province. I mean, I feel it should be looked after the province. I know there's views that the lower tiers should look after things. I do adhere to that somewhat, but not totally, and it bothers me to no end that the province once again sees that this is an opportunity for them to say, hey, look what we're doing for you. The lower tier is going to pay. And to your comment, to Councillor McDonald's comment, it has been my thought on this is like, and I do understand 0 to 35. What sticks in my mind is our taxpayers. They're already burdened by many things that the province doesn't want to do, and this is one more thing the province seems not to want to do, is to support affordable housing. There are many ways. I think of ways that we've considered already. We do remove development charges, look after building permits. These are opportunities we have locally to do that wouldn't affect, it does affect the taxpayer, but not in such a pointed way. I think there's other opportunities we can support affordable housing. I know we've all talked about it locally, but I'm with the, and it's not anything to do with staff, the lack of information provided and the what may happen, what may not happen, and we don't know the numbers. There is more investigation needed, and I do think that MPAC should step up, or the province should deliver the information or challenge MPAC to do that for us. I'm just not in favor of another download from the province as we struggle every day to find ways to manage our money, our taxpayer money. Thank you, Mr. Warden.
Thank you. Councillor Bergeron.
Okay, that's just brought something else in my mind. So the fact that we won't know which properties qualify, do we have to say that we want this class for them to tell us who is in this class? Okay, question number one. Question number two, can we say we'd like to know who is in this class, but for this year we say 0%? Or do we have to say 5, 10, 15%?
By adopting this bylaw and these subclasses, council during the budget process can decide to do nothing if they so choose. They could leave the tax ratio at 1, that is the same as the multi-res and new multi-res and residential class, or they can decide to have a reduction factor of up to 35%. We would know that through the budget process when the roll is returned. Our budget, keeping in mind that our budget is very early in December, I'm not sure that this information will be that early, but we do set the tax rates in January whenever everything has been completed. But yes, council, at the very least, council can have the information made available and then make the decision. To Councillor McDonald's point, once the subclasses are adopted, they can still be rescinded later if council desires to do that, but it is sometimes difficult to do that as well.
Thank you. Further questions? So this is key information. Is there enough interest around here to have the resolution read that you can vote on it? It looks like there is. It's a long one. Do you just do the therefore, or are you going to? Okay, go ahead.
So through you, Mr. Warden, the draft bylaw is part of the key information report. If council wanted to vote on that today, they could. I have a motion to pass
That's
that.
on page 174, the draft.
Correct.
One.
And the resolution reads that bylaw number 5510, being a bylaw to have the affordable rental housing subclass apply for the multi-residential and new multi-residential property classes, be read and passed in open council, signed and sealed.
Do I have a mover and a seconder? Councillor Gaindel, Councillor Densom. Any more comments? All those in favor? Opposed? It's carried. Thank you. The next one is 2025 Transportation Capital Project Tour. Who's speaking? Mr. Grant? Oh, and Mr. Harbour as well. Go ahead whenever you're ready.
Thank you, Gordon. So this one is a little bit lighter than the last one. It's a fun tour, so I hear. We're just looking to gather some input on whether or not council's interested on a road tour this fall. Turn it over to Dana. He can go over a couple of the projects. Feel free to shout out suggestions. Raising hands is preferred, but or dates. And so Dana can go over some of the dates, and we can gather some input from everybody.
Perfect. So good morning, everybody. As Cameron mentioned, this is the annual Transportation Capital Project Tour. So what we're looking for is to, what we're going to do is provide you with some preliminary locations. So County Road 22 reconstruction, the Increment Bridge replacement, Cass Bridge reconstruction, County Road 18 Sandy Creek culvert replacement, and Chrétien Forest. The proposed dates that we're looking at completing this full-day tour would be Thursday, October 9th, or Friday, October 17th. So what we can do is open the floor up to any locations that council may want to visit and discuss these dates.
Can you give me a bit of a thumbs up if we want to do the tour? It looks like it's positive there. And then anybody want to speak to dates? Go ahead, Councillor Williams.
I'm available the Thursday, October 9th. The 17th, I'm in Toronto. I won't be here. And I'd like to request a drive down the Main Street in Alexandria. That Main Street project, the redevelopment of it, has been shelved, as we know, for some time. Largely due to, I think, County Road 22. So Councillor McDonald and I would like to get that project back on the table. Thank you.
I'm sure we're all going to be happy to have our new Director of Transportation on a bus, locked in with us as we drive through our townships. We can all get a few. Anyway, anything further? Go ahead, Councillor McDonald.
October 9th, I'm gone to New Brunswick for a wedding, so I can't do that one, but I'm available on the 17th.
Okay. Anybody else have a concern with the date? Councillor Broad?
Yeah, I'm available on either dates.
Anybody else? I'm available the 9th, not available the 17th, but we'll go with majority.
I'm available the 17th and not the 9th.
Look, if you want to make it fun, you need to have me there. So, same.
Anything further?
Can they,
All right.
Can they perhaps look at a couple other dates and send out a doodle poll with 3 or 4 options and see if we can get the majority of council on board?
Go ahead, Councillor Fraser.
Mr. Warden, just to pay attention to what Councillor McDonald's saying, could we just have a quick hand up for the 9th, the 17th, or both right now so we know where we stand?
You could put your hand up for both. So who's available on the 9th? Who's available the 17th? I think there's more on the 17th, but anyway. Do we leave that with staff then? They'll sort something out. We might get more dates. You never know. But we are eager to do the tour. All right. If nothing further, we'll move on to administrative update.
Thank you, Mr. Warden. Not too much to provide an update to council on. I just have a few key dates regarding our upcoming council meetings. The Ontario East Municipal Conference is later this week. We do have the SDG Summit planned for October 3rd. That's going to be in North Stormont. And so the townships are working on their subject matters for that day. And then we have, of course, the Warden's Banquet coming up on October the 25th in Williamstown at Tartan Hall. So we're encouraging everybody to get onto Eventbrite and purchase their tickets if they haven't done so yet.
Okay, thank you. Any questions for Madam CO? Councillor Fraser left his microphone on again. Oh, you're ready to speak?
I'm always ready.
The other day I heard that they could hear you chatting about something, though. The people watched online were mentioned it to me. Anything further? Nothing else on the administrative update then? Okay. And we're at ratification bylaw. Madam Clerk.
It's moved by Councillor Williams, seconded by Councillor McDonald, that bylaw number 5511, being a bylaw to adopt, confirm, and ratify matters dealt with by resolution, be read and passed in open council, signed and sealed.
All those in favor? It's carried. And adjournment.
It's moved by Councillor Bergeron, seconded by Councillor Broad, that council adjourn to the call of the chair.
All those in favor? It's carried. Thank you very much, everyone, and enjoy the rest of your week.